In a world that never seems to stop spinning, where the buzz of notifications and the pace of daily life keep our minds in a constant state of motion, there's a quiet revolution happening. One that doesn't require you to change the world, but instead to tune into it. That revolution is mindfulness. At its core, mindfulness is the simple yet profound practice of paying attention on purpose to the present moment without judgment. It's not about emptying your mind or achieving a Zen-like state of bliss. It's about becoming aware of what is happening right now, the breath entering your body, the sensations in your hands, the thoughts drifting across your awareness like clouds. Jon Kabat-Zinn, one of the pioneers of mindfulness-based stress reduction, once said, "Mindfulness is awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally." In an era driven by distraction, mindfulness is more than a relaxation technique. It's a lifeline to your sanity. Let's be honest, modern life is stressful. Emails flood in before you finish your coffee. Deadlines blur together. Even leisure time is scheduled, tracked, optimized. And in all of this noise, we lose sight of what matters most, our own well-being. But mindfulness invites us back to ourselves. It creates a pause in the chaos, a breath between stimulus and reaction. And in that breath, we find space. We find calm, real life. Example, take Laura, a single mother and full-time nurse. For years, she lived in survival mode, juggling work shifts, bills, and raising her daughter. Sleep was rare. Anxiety was constant, but everything changed when she joined a mindfulness group at her hospital. She started practicing mindful breathing, just 5 minutes a day, noticing her breath without trying to change it. Within weeks, something shifted. Her panic attacks decreased. She felt more patient with her daughter, more present. "It felt like I had been drowning," she said, "and mindfulness taught me how to breathe again." That's the power of this practice. Mindfulness has helped veterans cope with PTSD. It's been used in prisons, hospitals, and corporate offices. Athletes, CEOs, and students alike are using it to improve focus, resilience, and emotional balance. But how does it actually work? What is happening in the brain when we practice mindfulness? Can you really rewire your brain to stay calm under pressure? To answer that, we have to go deeper, into the very structure of the brain, into the circuits of stress and the wiring of awareness, because mindfulness isn't just spiritual, it's scientific. Let's journey into the brain and see how mindfulness can literally reshape your mind. To truly grasp the power of mindfulness, we need to understand what's happening under the hood, inside the most complex organ in the known universe, the human brain. Let's start with what happens when we're stressed. When you're late for a meeting, your phone rings non-stop and your mind starts spiraling. It's not just psychological, it's neurological. The brain's amygdala, an almond-shaped cluster deep within the limbic system, kicks into overdrive. It's responsible for detecting threats and triggering the fight or flight response. This made sense in the past, when threats meant predators, not deadlines. But today, the amygdala still responds as if every email notification is a tiger. The stress hormone cortisol floods your system. Your heart rate spikes. Your muscles tense. You become reactive, anxious, and emotionally volatile. Over time, chronic stress damages both mental and physical health. But here's where mindfulness changes the game. When you engage in mindfulness practices, like meditation or body scans, you activate a different set of neural circuits. Studies using fMRI brain scans show that regular mindfulness practitioners have reduced activity in the amygdala. And more than that, the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex actually weakens. Why does that matter? Because the prefrontal cortex is the seat of rational thinking, decision-making, and emotional regulation. When it's strong, you can pause before reacting. You can choose your response. Mindfulness strengthens this circuit like a mental muscle, so you become less reactive and more resilient. In other words, you're literally hacking your brain for calm. One landmark study by neuroscientist Sarah Lazar at Harvard University found something even more incredible. After just 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation, participants showed increased gray matter density in brain regions associated with self-awareness, empathy, and memory, specifically the hippocampus and insula. That means mindfulness doesn't just calm you down, it rewires your brain to be more emotionally intelligent. Visualize it like this. Before mindfulness, your brain is like a car with the accelerator jammed and the brakes barely working. After mindfulness, you've fine-tuned the engine, reinforced the brakes, and can navigate life's twists and turns with far more control. Even more astonishing is the brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to change and adapt throughout life. For decades, scientists believed that the adult brain was fixed, but we now know that's not true. Every thought you think, every habit you build, and every mindful breath you take is physically reshaping your brain's structure. Mindfulness acts as a sculptor, chipping away at reactivity and carving out pathways of peace. Key brain areas affected by mindfulness, amygdala, calms down over time, less reactivity to stress. Prefrontal cortex becomes stronger, improves attention, decision-making, and emotional control. Hippocampus grows in volume, better memory, and emotional regulation. Default mode network, DMN. This brain network, active during mind-wandering and self-referential thoughts, becomes quieter. Less rumination, less overthinking. Imagine the possibilities. With consistent mindfulness, your brain can become less anxious, more focused, and deeply resilient, all through the simple practice of paying attention. But you don't need to sit cross-legged in silence for hours to see these benefits. In the next section, we'll explore how to bring mindfulness into your everyday life without having to become a monk or master meditator. Because the truth is, mindfulness belongs to everyone, and it starts with just one breath. By now you might be wondering, if mindfulness can reshape my brain, how do I actually start? The beauty of mindfulness is its simplicity. You don't need fancy tools, expensive courses, or a retreat in the mountains. All you need is your attention and a willingness to come home to the present moment. Let's start with the most accessible practice of all, mindful breathing. This isn't about controlling your breath. It's about observing it. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the air as it enters your nostrils. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the temperature of the inhale, the softness of the exhale, and when your mind wanders, which it will, gently bring it back to the breath. No judgment, no pressure, just return. Even just 2 minutes a day of mindful breathing can start to retrain your nervous system. Over time, you're teaching your brain it's safe to relax. I don't have to be on edge all the time. You can practice this during your commute, before a meeting, or even in the shower. It's not about having time, it's about making a moment. Body scan meditation. This is a powerful way to connect with your body and ground yourself. Start at the top of your head. Slowly shift your attention downward, moving through your face, neck, shoulders, all the way to your toes. Notice sensations without trying to change anything. Tingling, tension, warmth, stillness. Observe it all. It's like turning on the lights in a house you've been walking through in the dark. Suddenly, you're in your body again, not lost in thought but fully present. Many people use body scans before bed to reduce insomnia. It works by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode, which helps counteract stress and promote sleep. Mindful walking. You don't need to sit still to be mindful. Sometimes the most powerful moments of clarity happen while moving. As you walk, pay attention to each step. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice your breath syncing with your pace. Tune into your environment, the sound of birds, the texture, of the air, the movement of trees. Even a walk around the block can become a meditation. It's not about where you're going, it's about how you're arriving. Mindful eating. When was the last time you really tasted your food? With mindful eating, every bite becomes a sensory experience. Before you take a bite, pause. Observe the color, texture, and aroma. Chew slowly, taste intentionally, be fully there. You'll not only improve digestion, but you'll also reduce overeating, emotional snacking, and increase gratitude. Overcoming common challenges. Let's be real. Mindfulness sounds simple, but it's not always easy. Distractions come. Frustration shows up. You might think, I'm not doing this right. But here's the truth. There's no wrong way to be mindful. Every time you notice your mind has wandered and gently returned to the moment, you're training your brain. That is the practice. Try setting small goals. Start with 1 minute of mindful breathing in the morning. Anchor it to a habit, like brushing your teeth or making coffee. And don't expect instant results. The transformation is subtle, gradual, and profound. Over time, you'll notice your reactions soften, your focus sharpen, your inner world slow down. The key is consistency, not perfection. Mindfulness isn't about escaping life, it's about showing up fully for it. The mundane becomes sacred. The ordinary becomes enough. In the next section, we'll explore how these practices have transformed lives and why mindfulness is more than a trend. It's a revolution in mental health, grounded in science and lived experience. Because the most powerful stories are the ones lived in the present. Mindfulness isn't just a theory, a trend, or a buzzword in psychology circles. It's a lived experience, a practice that has rippled through the lives of countless people. From high-pressure CEOs and Olympic athletes to trauma survivors and everyday parents. What makes mindfulness so powerful is not that it changes your circumstances, but that it changes you. Let's look at how. Personal story. From anxiety to awareness, meet James, a 34-year-old software engineer with a brilliant mind and a restless heart. He was constantly wired, checking emails late into the night, overthinking every social interaction, living with an undercurrent of anxiety that never seemed to fade. Therapy helped, but something was missing. He needed a tool in the moment, not just after the fact. That's when he discovered mindfulness. He started with 5 minutes a day, sitting with his breath, feeling the weight of his body, noticing when his thoughts spiraled. At first it was uncomfortable. His inner critic got louder, but slowly something shifted. The storm inside his head began to calm. Now, 3 years later, James says mindfulness gave him the greatest gift, the space to pause, to choose, to be with life rather than always trying to escape it. He's still in tech, still faces deadlines, but his nervous system isn't running the show anymore. He is. Mindfulness and mental health. Thousands of clinical studies have echoed James's experience. Mindfulness has been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, improve emotional regulation, decrease rumination and overthinking, enhance self-compassion and resilience programs like mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, are now being prescribed alongside medication and traditional psychotherapy with remarkable results. In one randomized trial, people who practiced mindfulness saw a 58% reduction in anxiety after just 8 weeks. In another, patients with chronic depression reported fewer relapses after learning to observe their thoughts rather than be consumed by them. Mindfulness doesn't erase pain, but it transforms your relationship with it. Physical health benefits. The power of mindfulness extends beyond the mind. Studies show it can lower blood pressure, improve immune function, reduce inflammation, even slow down cellular aging. It's not magic, it's biology. When you enter a mindful state, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, slowing your heart rate, deepening your breath, and promoting repair. It's like hitting a reset button on a physiological level. And here's the deeper truth. When you stop fighting the moment, your body stops fighting itself. The bigger picture, a compassionate life beyond stress relief or brain rewiring, mindfulness, awakens something deeper, presence. And with presence comes compassion. You start noticing the struggles of others. You listen more, react less. You create space for discomfort in yourself and in those around you. Mindfulness invites us into radical honesty with ourselves and gentle understanding toward others. It's not just a tool, it's a way of being. In our final section, we'll zoom out. We'll look at where mindfulness is heading and how this ancient practice might just be one of the most important tools we have for building a healthier, more connected future. Because the mind you train today becomes the world you help shape tomorrow. We are living in the age of distraction, ping after ping, scroll after scroll. Our attention, once our most sacred resource, is now up for auction. In a world designed to pull us away from ourselves, mindfulness is a quiet act of rebellion, a return to the now, a reclaiming of the mind. But this isn't just about individual well-being, it's about something bigger. The rise of mindfulness. In modern society, mindfulness is no longer confined to yoga studios or spiritual retreats. It's in hospitals, classrooms, corporate boardrooms, even prisons. Doctors are using it to cope with burnout. Teachers are using it to help students regulate emotions and improve focus. Veterans are using it to heal trauma. Inmates are using it to transform inner rage into awareness and accountability. This movement is backed by decades of science. Institutions like Harvard, Stanford, and Oxford are leading the research. Governments are funding mindfulness programs in public schools. Mindfulness is being taught to children before they can even tie their shoes. Why? Because the data is clear. When we train the mind, we change lives, and not just our own, a tool for collective transformation. When you become more mindful, you begin to respond instead of react. You become more attuned to your needs and more compassionate toward others. You break cycles of unconscious behavior and start choosing alignment over autopilot. This ripple effect spreads through relationships, families, workplaces, and communities. Imagine a society where more people pause before they speak, where compassion outweighs outrage, where presence replaces panic. That's not utopia, that's neuroplasticity in motion. Start where you are. You don't have to be a monk. You don't need hours of free time or a perfect schedule. All you need is one moment, one breath, one choice to come back to yourself. Start small. 1 minute of breathing before bed. A mindful walk around the block. Turning off your phone and fully tasting your morning coffee. You're not trying to escape life. You're trying to live it. With your eyes open, heart soft, and mind clear, and the brain, it follows your lead. Your brain, rewired for calm, every mindful moment creates new pathways. Every time you pause instead of panic, observe instead of react, you're literally reshaping your nervous system. You're training your brain to come out of survival mode. You're building the circuits for peace, resilience, and clarity. In a very real biological sense, you are hacking your brain for calm. So here's your invitation: not to be perfect, not to be zen, but to be present, to sit with yourself, messy, beautiful, distracted, and all, and say, this moment is enough. I am enough. Because in the stillness of now, transformation begins. The future isn't found in the next notification. It's found in this breath. And the next one. Mindfulness is not a destination. It's a return to the only place life is actually happening. Right here, right now.